Hey, this is Joe again with another movie review, and we having a heat wave, a tropical heat wave. In case you don't know, get the hint of that, I'm going to be doing a movie 1993 film, Popular Men, and that's the song that runs off on the top of the opening credits, and this reunites the comedy team of Walter Matthau and Jack Lemmon, who of course were the original odd couple. They also joined in this movie by Anne Margaret, Ozzie Davis, and the late great Burgess Meredith in this film. Well, of course, Jack Lemmon and Walter Matthau have died since then as well. Of course, this is what Walter Matthau called the dumbest movie he's ever done in his whole career at the time. And this movie made a pretty good boatload of money. But in case you don't know what the theme of Popular Men is, Walter Matthau and Jack Lemmon played next door neighbors who have been arguing with each other for like 50 years. And then next door, across the street, there was a new neighbor moving to the house, the empty house across the street, and it had to be Anne Margaret. And of course, you know, during the 50s and 60s, so it was a pretty hot sex symbol at that time, in this, 30 years earlier. And of course, pretty much for the rest of the movie, the two men trying to bow for her affections. So was pretty much the rest of the film. And this movie is supposed to be set in Minnesota during winter, running from Thanksgiving to Christmas. So it was pretty funny that in the opening credits they play the song "We're Having a Heat Wave" and they have all this hip deep in snow. And of course throughout the rest of, and of course also throughout the movie, Jack Lemmon and Walter Matthau treat insults. They call them putz, moron, putz, throughout the whole film. And of course, hey schmuck, calling each other schmuck, putzes, and morons, through the whole movie, zingers one after the other, and pulling all different kinds of infantile pranks with each other. Like there's one particular scene where Jack Lemmon always tries to win the lottery. So he's watching the lottery numbers come out, and here's Walter Matthau with a remote control that happens to work on Jack Lemmon's TV, so he's constantly changing the channel through his window. And of course, after when Jack Lemmon figures out that Walter Matthau is changing his channels, he sprays water on him, and then of course he tries to melt the ice or the snow on his roof, or Walter Matthau's roof later on. But it didn't work because he had to use hot water. And Walter Matthau says, "You have to use hot water, you schmuck. You'll never get me." And of course, the other thing that it's also kind of like a running gag for the film, it was done with the ice fishing. And both have like a little shanty, on the lake that's completely frozen over. And of course, they always do, ice fishing. They were moving the shack. Because when Walter Matthau found out that Jack Lemmon actually had sex with Anne Margaret's character in the film, which is a pretty, you actually don't see the sex act, thank God. Because I want to see two old people having sex in the movie, I should know. It was funny in the movie Cocoon, but you don't want to see that. Believe I don't want to see that. So what the Matthau does is destroy Jack Lemmon's little shanty, or the ice shack, when he went ice fishing. So it's constantly bickering back and forth with the film, and of course, to eventually things do turn serious over the fact that Jack Lemmon is in debt to the IRS, owes thousands of dollars to him, because while he was retired, his wife was still working. His late wife was still working, and he didn't claim on the taxes for salary, for the earnings that she was making. So that's the money that he owes the IRS. But then, of course, we know what happened at the end of the movie. Walter Matthau does give him the money at the end of the film to pay off the IRS. And of course, he also Jack Lemmon marries Anne Margaret at the end of the film. One of the best features in this film is that you do have like a little love story, subplot between Kevin Pollak, who plays Walter Matthau's son, and who was just coming off a great performance, a very good series performance in A Few Good Men, and with Daryl Hannah, who played Jack Lemmon's daughter in the film. And this is the first time in a few years that I've seen Daryl Hannah in a movie, and now you don't really see her at all in the film, which is a shame. Because 30 years ago she made her career off of Splash, which I previously did a review for, and you saw it in the Clan of Caveman movie, which is an awful movie. If you never seen it, I mean, the books were popular, but the movie was, Clan of Caveman movie was just terrible. And she did Still Magnolias, and then you haven't seen pretty much anything between Still Magnolias and this film. But she did a good performance as Jack Lemmon's daughter. And of course, you also have the guy who stole the movie, I feel, is Burgess Meredith. And he played Jack Lemmon's father in this film. And I don't know how much close in age the two of them are, but I think they're pretty close in age, the two actors. And Walter Matthau stole every scene that he was in. And it's so who cares? I'm 80 something, I'm 90 years old. Because Jack Lemmon says, "Oh, you're supposed to be smoking fruits and cigarettes." And so Walter Matthau says, "Who cares? I'm 90 years old. Who cares already?" And that type of thing. And there was one particular scene when Ossie Davis' character went into Anne Margaret's house before Jack Lemmon and Walter Matthau ever did. And Burgess Meredith says, "Oh, he's going in. He's going into the house." And Burgess Meredith says, "Oh, it looks like he's going to put the salami in the bun." And making all these sexual references. And of course, and they do show during closing credits all these bloopers. And all these different ways that Walter Matthau Burgess Meredith would say what Ossie Davis' character is doing with Anne Margaret. He's taking the old tuna boat to Tuna Town, or he's putting the old hot dog in the bun, or he's going to the Holy of Holies, and he's doing all these. I mean, it's just one funny better than the other. And to me, Burgess Meredith stole the movie. He played a stereotypical dirty old man, in the film. And of course, this movie was, I think it was made on a pretty small budget. I mean, it was like pretty much a simple story with two guys. For the most part, the film nagging on each other. And like I said earlier, at the beginning of the review, Walter Matthau thought this was the stupidest movie he ever did in his career. He was the guy who did the original, like I said, the original Odd Couple, and the original The Taking of Pelham 1, 2, 3, where he actually did a serious role in that. Plus, I think it was the Funny Girl. He was in a whole bunch of the original Bad News Bears movie, which he did, and comedian performing plays drunk for most of that film. But he did good work. And of course, in this film, revitalized the whole Lemmon and Matthau teaming up together. They teamed up in the 60s and early 70s together, did a couple of films. But then they haven't done a film for a long time. I mean, pretty much throughout the whole decade of the 80s, they didn't even really work together for whatever reason. And then, of course, when this movie came along, let's team up the Warner Brothers. So let's try and do a movie with these two guys, and it revitalized their careers. And for a few years during the 90s, they did a bunch of other films together. They did a sequel to The Odd Couple 2. The movie was okay, but it wasn't great. They did another film called Out to Sea, where they were on a cruise ship, when the professional dancers on a cruise ship to dance with old ladies who did by themselves. But then a few years later, about 4 years after, Grumpy Old Men made a sequel called Grumpy Old Men. And this time, instead of Walter Matthau falling in love with and Margaret, and like I said, they did get married in the end of the original film. But not this time. I'm going to make a love interest for a straight out love interest for Walter Matthau's character, and they brought in Sophia Lemmon, and she was great in this movie. And of course, what happened was, which I didn't mention, that the Ossie Davis character, who plays Chuck, who plays the owner of a bait shop, a bait shop and restaurant when he sells bait for the ice fishing for Walter Matthau and Jack Lemmon's characters. Excuse me. He died. His character dies in that film. So of course, in the years or the months between this movie and the sequel, Grumpy Old Men, they sold, or Chuck's bait shop was sold to Sophia Lemmon, who opened up a restaurant, like a French, or I think it was an Italian restaurant, if I remember it right. And at first, Walter Matthau was battling back and forth with her, because how dare she buy Chuck's restaurant? That type of thing. And so they were fighting back and forth. She was cursing Walter Matthau, and Sophia Lemmon was cursing Walter Matthau out in Italian all the time. And Sophia Lemmon had like a little old lady as a mother. I forgot the actress's name playing the part. She was also cursing Walter Matthau out in Italian. But this movie, the sequel, Grumpy Old Men, also does mark the final film that Burgess Meredith ever did. Because at the end of that year, in 1997, or in November 1997, Burgess Meredith passed away. So Grumpy Old Men was the last film that Burgess Meredith ever made. And he had an extremely long career, but actually more famous for playing Penguin in the Batman films and playing Mickey in the Rocky films. But he did a great last performance, and one of his last things, his character ironically does die in this film. And one thing he did complain, or his character did complain in the film, is that all of his friends are dead except for him. All of his friends are dead, or his relatives are dead. And he says, "Oh, God forgot me. God forgot to take me." And they had this one particular scene where Burgess Meredith and Jack Lemmon were sitting by the lake, which is now melted because it's going to be in the spring/summertime. And they both of them were sitting there by the edge of the lake. And Burgess Meredith died. And Jack Lemmon looks over to him and notices that he had died. So Jack Lemmon says, "Well, guess God remembered you, Pop." And they did, they had a funeral for him. The one thing they also had, they actually explored this in the first film, the love interest story between Daryl Hannah's character and Kenneth Pollock's character. And of course in the film, the two of them get married in this film. But it's kind of like an enjoyment because they married for a wedding, the invitations, or this whole thing. And then they broke up, and got back together, and broke up again. And Jack Lemmon went to Matthau trying to figure out how to get the two together, because they knew that Daryl Hannah and Kenneth Pollock loved each other, and tried to get them married. And they did get married in the end of the film. They got married, but Walter Matthau marries Sophia Lemmon by the end of this film as well. But Grumpy Old Men was, I would say, an enjoyable sequel. Not the greatest sequel in the world, but I would say like a decent follow-up, a decent end to that particular story movie series. Another one made like 2 movies. And of course, like about like 3 years, about 3-4 years later, Walter Matthau had died, and then like a year or 2 years later, Jack Lemmon had died. So it's really that's really great movie series with the two actors. And I do think that either Grumpy Old Men or Grumpy Old Men, either that one or Young Couple 2 was the last film that the two guys did together, and which ended an incredible run of films of the two guys. I mean, people compared like other all Harley movies or Harley movies or the Albert Costello films that I grew up watching, or or like Meg Ryan or Tom Hanks. They're doing the same thing with those two actors. And they haven't done a movie in like 15, 16 years. So, or 17 years actually. But once Matthau and Jack Lemmon, they're like the modern day, from like the 60s up to now, modern day comedy actors. And they were terrific in this film, and and the Grumpy Old Man and Grumpy Old Men 2. This was actually the first movie they saw the two of them in. And they were enjoyable to watch because the two of them worked so well together. I guess for a long time before Grumpy Old Men came out, they tried to work together. And for some reason they didn't write the right story, or they're always working in different movies. And then this one came on, and like I said, that Walter Matthau was surprised how well this made, because I thought it was the stupidest thing ever. Especially with all the insults, or putts, moron, pranks they put on each other. He thought it didn't, Walter Matthau thought it didn't work. I think he was the only one I know of from the cast that thought that the movie was not going to work. And surprisingly it did. And I still watch it, and it's a perfect movie to watch during the summer because it will cool you off looking at all that snow. And of course, my sister gets mad at me every time I watch this movie. She wants to beat me up because you have the song "We Having a Heat Wave," the tropical heat wave, playing to the opening credits. And of course, here in New York, we are having it's like doing this video. We are having a heat wave in New York City. But in terms of the film, so it's even funnier to hear that song now, and also of course during the winter time when it's like 10 degrees outside. According to Al Gore, that's global warming, was 10 degrees out in the middle of January. That schmuck. Glad he never became president. But in terms of the movie, it's still an enjoyable movie. It's still funny to watch. And anybody who says otherwise doesn't know what I'm talking about. And surprisingly, this movie is not on television all that much. And because it's an enjoyable film. And that's my review of the Grumpy Old Men movies. Please rate it, please like it. Please feel free to comment on. Please subscribe to my channel. And please forward this video on your Facebook pages so you can get up my viewership. Thanks for watching. Catch you next time.